everyone, Linda Israel here, and I am sharing a project that is part of a blog hop from several members of the Paper Crafters United Facebook group. The link will be in the description box. And we decided that for 4 weeks we're going to put up videos. That's our goal anyway. We've got 3 of the weeks pretty much planned. We still are waiting on deciding on the project for the last one. And this particular project, what we're doing is make a notepad, a junk notepad, if you will. The concept was that you could not use any patterned paper like scrapbook paper, and you could not use any digis, but you could use anything else that you had in your stash. So I am making my notepad a booklet in a sense. So what I've got here are some things that I want to use, or I think I want to use, and I'll kind of go over them as we move along here. The first thing that I have here is a piece of watercolor paper that was in my stash and a piece of tissue paper that was in my stash. So what I'm going to do is adhere this down, and that will be my cover of my little booklet that I'm making. And I think what I want to do is use some, I'm going to sew around this. So I'm going to use some glue stick around the perimeter and place this down. And I'm just going to use my paper cutter and trim off the excess paper here. Now I have a manila envelope that was sent to me with a package, and so I'm going to cut this up and use part of it for my little page. So the first thing I'm going to do is just cut off the end and open this up so that I can basically cut out the size of page that I want for my project. See, now it's a nice big piece of paper that can be used. Now I don't want this to stay that manila color, so what I'm going to do is place this inside my spray box. I've got a stencil here, and I've got some Tattered Angels Glimmer Mist in a few different colors. And I'm going to spray a pattern on here. So I've got Sapphire, Denim Blue, Blue Bubbles, and Mint Julep that I'm going to use. So I've got a piece of old letterhead that I like to use to mop up excess Tattered Angels Glimmer Mist. And then I can use this as a page in a junk journal, so I don't waste any of that spray. See how that looks on there? That's pretty cool, isn't it? So it's got some nice color on it now. Now I want to add some stitching to this, so I'm going to sew down the 2 ends on this particular piece. So I just zigzag stitch down each side. Now on this particular piece, I know that I want to add some pockets to the page, or excuse me, the notebook. This could also be made into a junk journal page just by doing the same type of steps. Just cut it to the size that you want. But what I'm going to do is put some pockets on here so that I can add extra papers and a little notepad. So I'm going to line this up, and I think I'll sew it down on both sides, or 3 sides, to make a pocket. And I think I need to trim this one. This paper that I use is some paper that I made by using shaving cream and re-inkers, and was able to get this really cool, pretty effect. And I hadn't used it, so I thought, well, I will put this as part of my project today and see if I can't make it look really cool. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add some adhesive across the top and the bottom, because I am going to sew it together, but I want to make sure it doesn't shift on me before I get it sewed in place. So I'm just using a little bit of glue stick so that I can place these on top and it will stay in place. I'm just going to zigzag stitch along each of these top and bottom edges. So I've got my pockets in there. And this is going to be my cover. I think what I want to do next is, I know that I'm going to tie it shut when it's not in use. So I've got some ribbon here. So I'm going to go around it really quick, like, see how much I need. Usually what I like to do if I'm going to sew something down or unsure how much I need, I just leave it on the spool, tie my bow, and then I'll trim the excess off. So that's about the size I want it to be. And what I'm going to do is, that was probably a little off center, which is fine with me, but I think I want to move it. All right, and I'm just going to zigzag stitch right in the center on my sewing machine. Now I have a envelope, and I think, oh, it won't fit, but I can fix that maybe. I was going to put an envelope in here. I should have measured the envelope and based my whole project off of that, but I didn't. I was trying to go from memory. So what I'm going to do is, this I think needs to be under 5 1/4. So I'm going to trim off a little on each side of this envelope, and then I'm going to close it back up with washi tape. So I have cut off both sides of that, but I want this to still be an envelope. So I'm going to take some washi tape and then close this back up. Alright, so since I've got the washi tape on here, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to adhere this to my little cover that I'm making, so that when I'm carrying around my little soft notepad, if I need to place something inside, I can do that. And I have a little pocket. When you place your washi tape on and you want to do something that looks like a book page, you want to only go to the edge of the piece you are attaching. If you go beyond the edge, then it won't fold back and forth on your page. And then I fold it over, and I'm going to fold up the flap, and I'm going to put tape on this side. Now I didn't decorate this because I wanted it to have kind of a white space. I've got some Stormy Sky from Distressed Ink, and I've got a little hummingbird that is from Inkadinkadoo, because I wanted to stamp this little hummingbird on here. My mom passed away, and she loved birds. She loved all kinds, hummingbirds and whatnot. So I'm trying to, whenever I make a project, somehow incorporate a bird. So this is going to be a challenge for me, but I'm going to do it. All right, so I've got pockets. I've got a envelope to put stuff in. The next thing I want to show you is I have these sticky notes that were given to me, and they have a vendor's name on there. So what I've done is I peeled them off one at a time after I added some washi tape right over the logo on here. I'm just going to trim this off. And so now I have a new sticky note that's personalized. Isn't that cool? So I did a whole bunch of them, and I just put them on top of a clean surface. I didn't have to worry about it picking up lint. And I'm just going to line them back up to the original sticky pad as best as possible. And now I have a little sticky pad. And this is going in this pocket right here. I like to have sticky notes when I'm out and about to remind me of things. I'll place them in my wallet or whatnot. So that'll be kind of handy to have that. On this side of the page, I want to put an actual notepad. And so I will explain what I did, and hopefully you'll do better. I cut some papers to fit this tag that I had in my stash. So I have a box of these tags from K & Company that I picked up for $1 a long time ago at a place we call Big Lots. And they are just that, tag-shaped cards that have holes through them. Well, if you do it like that, then you have this weird fold. And so I hadn't really made anything with them until I started doing the junk journals a lot. And I've been using them as foundations because it's a nice cardstock to make a notepad. I cut papers to fit that size. I cut a topper and I punched holes with my Crocodile. And then I have a little binder clip here that I'm going to put on it. But the reason why I'm telling you all of this and I didn't show you, because I wasn't sure how it was going to come out and I was having issues. I have one of these little punches here, but you can only get so many pieces of paper inside. And I was having a problem keeping all my papers lined up, and my holes are not straight. So it's a good thing that I have these brads to cover it up. But what I do recommend is one of these Crocodiles, because I have 24 of these blue and white pieces of paper, and then this piece is cardstock. These pieces are what I call copy weight, or the junior legal pad size. That's where I got this paper, was from here. And then this is cardstock across the top. And I used this to punch all the way through and had better results. So instead of trying to punch them individually, you might want to punch them as a whole set. So I know that I'm going to put this in my little booklet page or cover for my notepad right here. And I want to add some more stuff to it. So I've got this little word that says inspire that I stamped. And I've got a little piece that I punched out with a paper punch. So I'm going to use some Distress ink to add some blue to it, so it'll kind of match. And I'll use my Aleene's tacky glue and glue these two components together. And then I'm going to glue this right here. And I've just got one of these little baby binder clips that's holding it inside, because sometimes I may want to remove it completely from the cover. I can fold the cover the opposite direction. I'm doing it now just so that it gets used to being folded. And on the front cover, I'm not quite done yet. I'm a member of another Facebook group called the Friendly Junk Journal People, and we do random act of kindness. And Anita Elliott made some really cool, these are some wings, and then she made these really pretty dragonflies. And I had commented on it on one of her photos that she shared, so she sent me some. So I used my brother's Scan and Cut and asked it to cut it out. And it cut it out perfectly. I love how these look. Well, I thought it'd be pretty to mount this on the front of my journal. So I'm going to use a combination of two glues. I've got some Brutus Monroe. It's kind of a fine detail glue. And then I'm also going to use some glue stick because I want to make sure these antennas get covered really well. So this is my little glue board. And I'm going to coat this really well with glue stick, and then go back and put some of this Brutus Monroe glue all the way around the perimeter. I've got a little Sharpie here, and I'm just going to go around the antenna just a little bit and color in that white paper. I should have done it before I put the glue on, but I wasn't sure how much it was going to show up once I glued it down. That looks pretty good. So when I made this, I made it so that it has a pocket here, and I have extra little cards that I can stick in. And then I've got a pocket here as well, and I've got my notepad here. I hope you enjoyed seeing what I've put together. I figure what I can do is I can tie this like so. And then I like to use a Sharpie type pen that I can just put it on here. And I have a pen with my little journal notebook. So I hope you enjoyed seeing my little version of a junk notepad using some tissue paper. I use an envelope, some random papers that I made a long time ago. I rebranded, if you will, some sticky notes by adding washi tape to them that say life is good, adding an envelope and trimming it to fit so I could put things inside, hand making my little notepad of papers, and of course there's a pocket on this side as well. So I hope you enjoyed that. Check out the others that are part of this blog hop in the description box. You'll see the link, and there will also be a playlist that you can check out. So if you just want to click on that and go through all of them. Like this video, subscribe if you haven't already, share with your friends so others can find it as well, and of course check out the Facebook groups for the Paper Crafters United. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Have a fabulous day. Bye.